Well, with UFC 320 behind us, it is time to do some matchmaking. What is next for these guys following UFC 320? Well, I wanted to kind of let everything settle, digest a little bit, and now I think I'm ready to go over what I think is next for each and every one of these guys. So we'll start off with Alex Pereira, the main man himself, the guy who just beat Magomed Ankalaev in a minute 20. It was so fast. Like, he bum-rushed Magomed Ankalaev. It was absolutely insane. But I think Alex Pereira's been eyeing a move up to heavyweight, but I think he wants to fight John Jones. I'm going to be honest, I don't care to see that fight. Like, I'll watch it, but I don't care to see it, to be honest with you. John Jones will take him down. That's just what will happen. John Jones will take him down and manhandle him. But if he wants to move up to heavyweight, I think that he should fight either Alexander Volkov or Sergey Pavlovich for a number one contender fight, because Tom Aspinall is going to be fighting here soon against Cyril Gane. So I'm thinking that maybe take a fight in the time being in between. And you know, I don't like when fighters jump up weight classes and get immediate title shots. I don't like seeing it. I don't care who you are. I don't like seeing it. I think to get a title shot in a specific weight class, you need to have at least one top 5 win in said weight class. So for Alex Pereira, I want to see him fight Alexander Volkov or Sergey Pavlovich in a number one contender fight, and the winner of whoever he fights should fight Tom Aspinall. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to happen. They'll probably just give him Tom Aspinall, but I don't even think he wants to fight Tom Aspinall, so I don't know. I think Sergey Pavlovich or Alexander Volkov would be very good number one contender fights. And as for Magomed Ankalaev, let's say that Alex moves up to heavyweight and he vacates his title. I think that he should probably fight Yuri Prochazka. I think that'd be a good fight to see. But Carlos Ulberg's in the mix, so it's like, who do you give the title shot to? I have a feeling that if Pereira moves up to heavyweight, that they're probably going to do Yuri versus Carlos Ulberg, which would leave Magomed Ankalaev against Khalil Rountree, maybe? I wouldn't hate it. No matter what they do with either of those three, or if they decide to run it back with Alex, I won't be mad at that either. So, out of all those options, you guys can take your pick on what you think. Merab Dvalishvili, what is next for him? Well, man, Merab is just a machine, isn't he? Like, he shot how many takedowns in this fight? Like, he does every fight, right? At this point, it's just not really surprising. And now he's got punching power. He almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen. Originally, I wasn't 100% sure if that second round was a 10-8, just because when you're watching it live, sometimes I'm not thinking of it from a scoring standpoint. At least not in terms of 10-9, 10-8. Like, it's usually just like, I usually just go to 10-9 by default, but he did almost have Corey Sandhagen knocked out. So, yeah, I would say 10-8 round is absolutely fair. And that was just crazy. Merab's got punch power, and he's got cardio. And, outside of that big right hand, I think it was a right hand that hurt Corey, if I'm not mistaken, and, like, he almost had him out. But around 3, 4, and 5, it was kind of just like takedown attempt. Corey gets up, gets free. And what happened, in my opinion, in that fight was Corey had a very good first round. His gameplay was very good, right? He wanted to land that left hook because that's been Merab's weakness in the past. So I kind of understand what Corey was trying to do there. Go to the leg kick, try to slow down the movement of Merab, go to the body, and potentially try to take some gas out of the tank. And after he was rocked, he kind of went back to that defensive style that he had against Umar and what cost him the fight. But I don't necessarily blame Corey for that. You got rocked. You will tend to respect your opponent because of that as a result. But what is next for these two guys? So Merab's got to fight Petr Yan. That's the next fight. And I don't think that Petr Yan does anything to Merab. Merab right now he's getting better. And you know what the thing is? Usually when champions hit their peak, right, and they're like at the top and they're like, nobody could beat this guy, he's untouchable, that's usually around the time that they lose. Now I'm not saying that Petr Yan's going to beat him, but I'm saying that soon I'm expecting Merab to start to decline, because at the end of the day, he is a human. He's eventually going to start to decline. And as for Corey Sandhagen, I would like to see him fight Sean O'Malley. I know Sean O'Malley's fighting Son Yudong, but yeah, I think Sean O'Malley's going to win that one, if I'm going to be honest. And I think that I'd like to see Corey versus Sean O'Malley. I think that'd be a very good fight. Very good technical striking masterclass on both sides, with Corey Sandhagen trying to mix in some of that wrestling, because he doesn't have that one-punch knockout power. So he's going to have to mix in the grappling, and he's a much better grappler than Sean O'Malley. Let's just be honest. Moving on to the strangest fight on the card, as every single Yuri Prochazka fight is, right? Like, Yuri Prochazka knocking out Khalil Rountree. It was so weird, right? This fight was weird. Like, Khalil for the first 2 rounds was in control for the most part. Like, Yuri had a pretty decent second round, but I still thought Khalil won it. Khalil definitely won the first round. And then the third round, all of a sudden, it's just, the gas tank was just empty. It kind of went from, like, it's slowly draining. At the end of the second round, it's probably about half full. He wasn't fully gassed out, I don't think. And then all of a sudden, he just went empty. Like, I don't know if it was an adrenaline dump. I don't know if Yuri just has something in him that just makes fighters gas out, unless you're Alex Pereira. But honestly, like, I'm impressed. But Yuri was also, or not Yuri, sorry, Khalil was kind of fighting a bit strangely at certain points. Like, I don't even know what it was, but he was like walking around the octagon with his hands down like this in punching range. But he wasn't like, I don't know, it's weird. Yuri's punching him in the face, and Khalil's just kind of walking around like this. Like, I know he's tired, but like, you would think your hands would be like at your chest level, right? Like this. When you're tired, your hands drop. But his hands were just kind of like as if you were walking down the street. It was so bizarre. It's the sort of fight that people would look at and think like, that's rigged, right? People would think that's rigged. But what's next for these guys? So Yuri Prochazka has a few options, right? Now, I'm going to operate off the assumption that Alex Pereira moves up to heavyweight on this, right? I think that Yuri should fight either Carlos Ulberg or Magomed Ankalaev for the vacant belt, assuming that Alex Pereira vacates. And as for Khalil Roundtree, I think him versus Magomed Ankalaev or Carlos Ulberg would be very interesting fights as well. Like, they're all right there in that mix, right? And what's so strange to me is Khalil could have won that fight, but he just puts so much power into everything he throws. Like, you're bound to gas out. And the way that this fight went down was pretty much how it went in my head in terms of my prediction. Like, for the first 2 rounds, Khalil Roundtree was showing that he's the more technical striker. He's a better striker than Yuri. But Yuri just makes the funk work. He wins fights that he shouldn't win. And it's pretty much how the prediction went. So, yeah, I thought this was a very, very good fight, to be honest with you. But moving on to Josh Emmett and Yusuf Salal. Okay, so Yusuf Salal had a very good takedown. You know, Josh Emmett was trying to enter in. He was getting ready to explode like Josh Emmett always does. Yusuf Salal takes him down and submits him. Josh Emmett verbally taps. So what's next for these two guys? Yusuf Salal wants Lerone Murphy. I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't even know who you would give him. I would say give him Brian Ortega. I think that's the fight you give him at this point. Kind of like a stepping stone. And for Josh Emmett, just retire, man. Like, you've had a decent career. You know, I love watching Josh Emmett fight. He's very exciting. He's very entertaining. But he's 40 years old. And in the featherweight division, that's too much to overcome, even for a monster like Josh Emmett. So, yeah, I think you should retire. It's been a decent career. I do enjoy watching you fight, Josh, but I don't want to see you getting knocked unconscious by these guys and these younger, hungrier, up-and-coming contenders. Like, I just don't want to see it, so please retire. But if he does want to stick around and fight, I mean, he could fight Dan Ige again. He could fight Giga Shikadze. He could fight Pitbull. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys take your pick, but I think you should just retire. And moving on to Abbas Magomedov. I didn't even actually realize. Is Abbas ranked? I didn't even realize he was ranked going into this fight. That's actually kind of crazy to me. So, Joe Pyfer submits Abbas, but he's not ranked on here, right? But when you look on the UFC page, it says he's ranked number 14. That is so bizarre. Okay, whatever. So, Joe Pyfer submits Abbas Magomedov, second round submission. I did not think he was going to submit him. I thought he would knock him out in the second or third round as Abbas started to fade. But, I mean, it's not too surprising that Joe Pyfer won this fight. You know, he did what everyone does against Abbas. He just wants to pressure him, make him tired, make him gas, and eventually make him tap out. And that's exactly how it went. So what's next for these guys? Well, I think for Joe Pyfer, I think that he should probably be fighting top 15 caliber competition. I would like to see him fight Paulo Costa. Who wouldn't like to see that fight? That would be an absolute banger of a fight. And as for Abbas, I would say have him fight like Kelvin Gastelum or something like that. Someone who's kind of like right outside that top 15 range, but it's like, you know, maybe he can get a win or Kelvin can prove he's still capable. So I think that would be a good fight to watch, and I think Kelvin would probably take that one. But I just want to see Kelvin back in the win column. I guess he did just win, but you know, beating Abbas again, I like watching Kelvin fight. But yeah, so this is my matchmaking following UFC 320. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Who do you guys want to see each and every one of these guys fight? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.